The Cornhuskers win it by 10. Let's go downstairs. Here's Leslie with Frank Solich.
Tim, Coach Solich has been around for other bowl game wins, but as an assistant coach, this is your first bowl game win as a head coach. Describe what it feels like.
It's tremendous. It's really a great group of players we have and a great group of coaches. Our fans have been tremendous over the years, and for this team to be able to fight back the way they did when things weren't going so good in the second half. They had the courage offensively to go on 2 drives of 90-some yards, which was tremendous.
We talked about strength and discipline before the game. Do you think that's what the team epitomized today?
I don't think there's any question about it. They've been tremendous on that end of it throughout the entire season. They've been a team that's been a very physical football team. They've believed in one another, and I think that all showed today.
This gives you your 21st win in your first 2 seasons. Is this something that this puts you 3rd all-time for Division I coaches? Is that something that is important to you?
I think that's really great, but what's really important to me is what this team has accomplished this year, and I'll take that above anything.
Well, congratulations. Back to Tim.
Thank you.
All right, Leslie, what a class act he is, and we congratulate Coach Solich, finishing his 2nd year as head coach in Nebraska. 21-5 is his record, and we talked about him following the legend, Dr. Tom Osborne. The celebration continues here in the desert and will well into the night. We'll be back with some more final thoughts right after this.
Yes, I think it's fair to say Husker fans are a little spoiled. I understand now we're going to be going down to Tempe, Arizona with Dave Weber. So I think, John, are you going to be taking this back?
All right, Dave Weber standing by in Tempe. We've done this drill before. No national championship tonight, John, but still a very exciting Husker win, an impressive Husker win. Dave, if you're down there, we're going to send it down to you to see what you have in the way of interviews.
Hey, Merlin, I got 2 of the stars of the game right here.
Great.
Adam Julch, who ran as fast as I've ever seen him run coming out on the field tonight, and Willie Miller, who ran as fast as I've ever seen him run on a couple of great runs tonight. What was the key tonight, guys? Again, you were better conditioned than Tennessee. How's the team feel?
We just feel like we played physical football. We invented it. They didn't think so. We showed them tonight. And I'm just proud of our offensive line, proud of our fullbacks and I-backs for running as hard as they can. I just thank God that we won the game, and we did it in a fashion that we like, as physical as we can, and we just kicked butt.
The offensive line opened some great holes for you, Willie.
They sure did. Hey, Tennessee has a great defense. They have some great athletes out there tonight, but you know what? They made one mistake. They tried to threaten our offensive line, talking about physical football. And the offensive line, they don't take that. They came out here tonight. They said, we're going to set the tone going into the year 2000. We're going to represent and show them that, hey, we are the most physical football team in the nation. And tonight, they got it done. They got it done. This is a great lead start for the year 2000 for our football team.
Was that the challenge, Adam?
Hey, the challenge is that our offensive line next year is going to be the best. I call it ours because I'm a part of this program for life. I love this program. I gave it my all to this year, and I think they're going to win it all next year, and that's my bet. I'll bet on my life.
How much extra did it give you when Tennessee made the comments that they didn't think?
Oh, yeah, it was a big challenge. Raynock Thompson opened his mouth when he shouldn't have. You know, I'm graduated. I can say what I want now, and he shouldn't have said that, and we showed him tonight, and I feel like we did a good job.
You had a great career. Hang on a second. Willie, talk to me a little bit about the runs. The offensive line opened huge holes for you. You cut back a couple of times, had one huge long run, almost scored on it.
Oh, yeah, the offensive line, like we said, they opened up some huge holes tonight. That one big hole, I didn't know what to do with myself. All of a sudden, I just sat there, and I wanted to just stop for a second and take a picture. It was beautiful. It was a huge hole. I just tried to make it to the end zone, and I knew it, though. You know, I'm a 250-pound fullback. I got a 180-pound little tailback, little DB that runs about a 4.3 40 chasing me. I knew I was going to get caught. I just wanted to try and use an angle and try and weave or something and get to the end zone.
He's a world record sprinter, I heard.
Hey, man, I don't know. He got me tonight. He got me.
What's the rest of the team feeling, the seniors on the team? You guys did this for the seniors, I know.
Most definitely. We try to step it up for these great guys like Adam Jones, Julius Jackson, all these guys who pour their hearts out on this football team and on this field. And like we said tonight, we just really want to get it done for them. And I just thank God that we were able to do it, and we were able to do it in a good fashion, too.
That's a great game, Willie. Julius Jackson, another super game.
Oh, yeah. We came out here, we played hard. They were talking how we were just a regular, our line was regular, the average people. We came out there, we proved them wrong. We were physical. We showed them that we are the best in the nation.
They had you covering. I don't know what the coverages were, but you were out there on wide receivers.
Oh, yeah, you know, I can do it all. I can cover, I can tackle, I can sack, it's whatever it takes. As long as we win this game, we're happy. And we did it, and so now we can celebrate.
What was it like out there on the field? Was there a lot of talking going on the whole game?
Yeah, Tennessee, they were talking a lot of trash, but, you know, we didn't need to say anything. They knew that we were coming with it, and they weren't, so that's all that needs to be said about that.
Talk to me about the momentum of the game. You guys came out and established yourselves, kind of let Tennessee back in at the end of the second quarter. They had a little bit of momentum in the beginning of the third quarter, and then all of a sudden you guys turned it around and cranked it up.
Yeah, they had that one good play, you know, that flea flicker, whatever it was, you know, but that wasn't changing anything. We knew we would come out in the next play and score with our offense. We did it, you know. I just got thank God for the victory we have. You know, this is my last game for a lot of us seniors, and we went out on top. That's what we wanted to do.
I was going to ask you about that. What's the feeling right now in your heart, huh?
Right now, well, I ain't started yet. I ain't going to start crying on TV. I'm waiting till I get in the locker room for all that, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed Nebraska, the fans, you know, everybody's been great, and it's time to move on.
We've enjoyed having you play at Nebraska, too, Julius. For Mikey Brown and Ralph and the other seniors, it's been great. Congratulations. That's tremendous. Julius Jackson, there he is. There you go.
Brian Shaw.
Hey, we got Brian Shaw. Thanks, Julius. Hey, Brian, congratulations, buddy. Great game. Talk to me a little bit about, Julius said he didn't want to start crying on camera. He'll do that later, but all the seniors, you know.
This is a great way to go out. You know, I know when we get back into the locker room, it's going to be emotional because this is everything that we've ever wanted.
Tell me a little bit about the game, the ebb and flow of the thing. You establish, they come back and rally at the end of the second quarter. At the beginning of the third quarter, they were still moving the ball on you guys. And then all of a sudden it turned around again and you stopped them on defense. And
I think what we want, they came out and challenged us and said that, you know, they were the more physical team and we wanted to show them otherwise. But then, you know, when they tried to change and went to a more passing game, I don't know if we were quite ready for that. But then when we stopped and the offense took over, and, you know, that's physical play right there. The defense just couldn't get them off the field.
What is the key? Game after game, season after season, we see Nebraska be the strongest team in the third and fourth quarters. What is there anything you guys do? Anything special?
You know, I think we just condition well and we work hard in the weight room. I mean, we are there. So that, I mean, that's all you can do. You just work hard, and we got a great work ethic, and we're going to know that it starts in January. I mean, their season starts tomorrow for next year, and they know that.
It's a great way to go out, isn't it?
It really is. The greatest fans here from Nebraska, and they're still hanging out. That's
and they'll be here for a long time.
Oh, yeah, they're loyal. That's great.
Congratulations, Brian. That's great. Congratulations. Eric,
how you doing?
Good, man. How are you, buddy?
All right, pretty good.
You showed a lot of speed out there, Eric. I always knew you had a lot of speed. You overcame the injury. A couple of blitzes you were on. It was just an incredible win.
Well, you know, as a team, you know, we came out there and played pretty good. You know, Julius and I both, you know, was unselfish, and we just came in here, and when we got the opportunity to get in there and do something, I mean, we just did the best that we can do.
You know, we sit around the office once in a while and start going through the roster saying, well, we're losing these guys, but we got them coming back, The linebacking core, we're losing some outstanding players to graduation this year.
You know, we're losing some guys, but, you know, then again, you know, we also taught a lot of guys. You know, you see Randy still out here blocking kicks, you know, making catches on the 1 yard line. You know, Randy Stella, he's going to be a good guy next year. He's going to be the kid to watch. You know, they also, Blanchard Johnson and Scott Shanley, you know, those kids are smart. And then they also have a good leader, Carlos Polk. You know, he's going to come in there and teach those kids a lot of things, too.
Tell me about what it feels like, this victory, the coming back and establishing yourself and then letting them back in the game a little bit and then coming back and finishing so strong at the end. It's so typical Nebraska football.
Well, yeah, you know, we came out there and played the best that we can do, and we had to give it all to our coaches. Our offense stepped up and played a great game. And, you know, we went out there and played the best that we can do. We came in with a good game plan, and, you know, and I think that right there showed in the end of the game.
You know, I got to tell you this. We listen to talk shows, all sports talk shows, and people call in always complaining they hate Nebraska. And you know why they hate Nebraska? It's because Nebraska's so doggone good and that they win consistently. Does that give you guys extra momentum when people say they don't like Nebraska for no other reason than you guys win all the time?
Yeah, that's just like with the Bulls. People hate the Bulls. They hate Jordan because they're the best, you know. And, I mean, that's where we see it, you know. So
that's great. Congratulations,
right,
Eric. It's a tremendous effort. Eric Johnson. Another linebacker who showed a lot of speed and a lot of heart tonight in a big victory over Tennessee. John Merlin, what's your reaction back there? You got any thoughts that you want to share?
Well, John and I were both sharing the thoughts of Ross Jernstrom running behind you there.
He's the MVP tonight.
The MVP.
You got to get him some air, too.
Hey, Ross can do a good time in the 40-yard dash, especially with a coach.
One thing we were talking about tonight, Dave, was the play of the tight ends. Tracy Wistrom was out, and the tight ends filled in. They did a great job.
And we just happened to see the tight ends coach here with you, Ron Brown, so take it away and talk about those tight ends.
Merlin and John Chapman were talking about what outstanding plays of the game, and they said the play of the tight ends all game long was outstanding.
Those two freshmen are really something special. You lose the top tight end in the Big 12 Conference in Tracy Wistrom, and then you got those two guys stepping in and playing like they've been seasoned vets, John Bowling, Aaron Galladay, and Troy Hasselbrook at wingback. What a great effort by those guys in the Big 12 title game and certainly in this game as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the game, Ron? You know, I said to Julius Jackson, you know, what a tremendous way to end your season at Nebraska, end your career at Nebraska. How do you feel deep down in your heart? And he said, you know, I'm not going to start crying until I get in the locker room. Yeah. But that's got to be the way a lot of the guys feel about something like this.
It's been an emotional run for the seniors, you know, when you really think about it. They've experienced the national championships. They've experienced the disappointments of not getting it. The retirement of Coach Osborne, Frank Solich getting adjusted to that whole thing, and Frank's a very emotional coach as it is, and the kids really playing for him, rising to the occasion. You know, we were just inches away from a national championship game this year, and hats off to guys like Mike Brown and Steve Warren and Julius Jackson and Aaron Wills and all those guys. You know, just a tremendous intensity by those guys. They're the right kind of people. I thank God that I've had the opportunity to be around those guys because they've taught me a lot as well. A lot of those guys are different men than they were when they walked in here 4 or 5 years ago. A guy like Aaron Wills is a great example. And Mike Brown and Ralph Brown and guys like that have lived out the very things that we thought that they could. You know, so many times kids don't reach their potential. So it's been a great class, and we're very proud of them. We're going to miss them.
And one of the most wonderful things is that they're going to be good men after they leave Nebraska because they've learned so much here about not just football, about everything, about life.
Well, I think they've learned a lot, but I think they've taught us a lot as well. You know, a lot of those guys have tremendous motors. You know, Mike Brown doesn't need to be motivated very much. Those guys, I think they rose to the occasion. They supported the changes that took place in this program in the last couple of years. I'm really proud of them. Like I said, I just thank the Lord for the character that was built on this football team during the time that they were here, and they will take it with them, and they'll also pass it on to the next generation.
What's it like for you, Ronnie? You get young talent like the Galladays and the Wistroms. You develop them. They're sophomores, juniors, seniors. They graduate. And then you're like a drill sergeant or you know, in the Army or something. Then another batch of young kids comes in. That's the gratifying part to you, to watch the kids grow?
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes you wonder what happens when kids grow too fast. I see a Bowling and a Wistrom and Galladay, all three are extremely talented kids. But, you know, these kids, they stay hungry, and I think the competition helps them, and they're the right kind of people. These tight ends, I think, in the next few years, my biggest role is going to be to keep them happy, you know. Can we create 4, 5, 6 positions for these guys because there's a lot of talent there.
What was the key again tonight? It was, you know, from us watching on the sidelines, it was conditioning and discipline and proving yourself when you had to in the game.
No question about it. We could have folded the tent. You know, at the end of the half there, they scored on a touchdown pass, and then we fumbled the ball right out the blocks in the third quarter, and Tennessee clearly had the momentum, and yet, you know, with the ebb and flow, we got it back going in our direction. What can you say about the 90-plus yard drives? Incredible. I mean, you don't see that happening against a great Tennessee defense. And they've clearly been one of the best defensive football teams in all of America this year. And our kids just rose to the occasion, just hammered away at them, good old Nebraska style. You know, great job of inside play by our offensive line. The tight ends did a great job of blocking the play-action passes. Eric did some great things, and the I-backs ran so hard, you know, including Willie Miller at fullback. I mean,
we had him on already, too.
Oh, man, those guys really tanked it up in there. So, again, it was just wear-it-out football. It's something that we've wanted to do, and we waited till the last game of the year against probably the best defense we played all year to get it done.
And Eric was just named MVP of the game on offense. He's had a great coming-of-age season, so to speak.
Well, you know, what a story. I mean, you look at the entire scenario from day one until now, and so much can happen. and it just shows you that perseverance is crucial. Just hanging in there. Again, we don't have a perfect program. We're not saying that we're perfect people, but I'll tell you what, through the imperfections, I think there's a great deal of sensitivity, compassion, and persistence, and it's something that's been bred for a long time, and I think that got done throughout the season with players leaving the team and unhappiness and the ups and downs, the Texas game, the whole deal. The kids showed great character, one of the great character years that we've had.
You know, you hear on talk radio, I have to listen to it because it's part of my job. But you hear people that don't like Nebraska because Nebraska wins all the time. Is that something that the players have to overcome? Do you have to tell them not to listen to negative talk just because the program is successful?
You know, it's pretty hard not to
play a little bit harder, and I think the coaches showed a lot of faith in me and put me right out there the next series and letting me play.
You really seemed to spark that 91 and that 99-yard drive.
Really, I think our team, we just had it in our minds. I said, you guys get it in your mind right now, we're going to score, and we went down the field and scored, twice in a row, 90-yard drives. It just shows the character of our offense, that when our backs were against the wall and things looked, the worst, we weren't at the worst field position possible, we really pulled it together and came together. I just thank the Lord for giving me the strength today to go out there and play as hard as I can.
All right, that was Husker Ivan.
I just thank God for it, and this has been a tremendous run for me. I'm just so happy to be a part of a great program.
Great, thanks so much. Thank Coach Ron Brown. Right. Thank you. What's this? Who we got here? Who we got? Oh, the cheerleaders. Oh.
And caught up with a few players after the game, and here's what they said to him.
We just able to do what we came to do.
What was your game plan to stop their run?
They switch it up a lot, so we knew we had to come from every direction, and everybody played with a lot of heart today because we had a lot of reasons. There was a lot of people leaving, the seniors, sprint in the end zone.
Did you think once you caught the ball, did you see that crease right away?
No, I just had a lot of confidence in the guys that they'd get their blocks and that there'd be some kind of crease there, and I had to get to it as quick as possible.
How'd you feel about making a play? I know you've made many this year, but how'd you feel about making one early?
I was surprised. I didn't realize I did until I got back to the sideline. It finally clicked.
And you talked about the ball game and how you pretty much dominated Tennessee, but it got close there, I guess, in the third quarter. But your thoughts on the game?
We pretty much dominated the whole game. We played they were talking how they're going to come in and play a physical game against us, but we taught them how to play a physical game. So we came in and played a very physical game and basically took over the whole thing.
How would you feel about a 97 and a 99-yard drive?
Well, Coach Solis called to the sideline, basically challenged us, and we came through.
Bobby, how about you too, man? Big dog.
How does it feel to go out on top, Don?
Feels good, and the way we did it, totally dominating way. We're going to show you physical football. He asked for it, he got it.
They said that they would be more physical this time than they were last time, but you showed them.
Like I said, they asked for it. I pumped us up. They got what they asked for. Physical football. We are the most physical team in the country. I'm saying that right now to anybody in the country.
Oh, it feels great. We're one game away from playing the Sugar Bowl, but this is a great victory in the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, hey, great game. Great game, baby, great game. Good game. Are you from Cali, ain't you?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, for real?
You from Southern?
Yeah.
I'm from North Sacramento. All right. Where the ball? All right.
Ralph, how does it feel to go out on top?
It feels great. Winning the Fiesta Bowl, give Coach Solich a victory, give Coach McBride his last victory, so we can go out a winner. I'm a senior. It feels great.
That way, buddy. Come down and tell when you're done.
That was real fun. It seemed like it took forever. I don't catch a lot of passes, especially not in the end zone of a big bowl game, Feels real good. It's probably the best feeling I can have. Me and John, two freshmen, we're together, we're roommates, and we both have real good games. What can I say?
All right, those were the Huskers right after the game. Right now, Tennessee is in the post-game interview area, and they're giving their thoughts on the game. I think their thoughts are pretty much what happened, because they got rolled over by that Nebraska offense. And John Oakey, in just a few seconds, we're going to have assistant coach Ron Brown on the line. We've got Frank Solich here, right here on this tape. And as soon as we can get it to the truck, you'll hear from him.
Well, let me ask you this, Did you pick up on Ralph Brown saying that they won this last game for Coach McBride, his final game?
Yeah, well, hang on. Ron Brown was trying to escape on me.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually said that, huh?
Yeah, he said that we had to win. We won this game.
Well,
for,
I'm going to
Coach
ask one of the
McBride.
other assistant coaches if this is true. All right, was that Coach McBride's last game?
You talk to Coach McBride about that, okay?
Well, Ralph Brown said it was for him because it was his last game.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let Charlie tell you what he's going to tell you.
Not your job, huh?
That's not my job. No, I'm not here to hire, fire, or retire Charlie McBride. I guarantee you.
All right, well, then let's talk about this game. I tell you, that was good old-fashioned smash-mouth Nebraska football in the third and fourth quarter.
It was a thing of beauty. You know, the kids really could have lost control of this thing. We lost the momentum right at the end of the first half, and then the fumble at the beginning of the second half. Could have folded the tent, but, man, the 90, whatever it was, the 98-yarder was incredible. That drive, a thing of beauty in terms of physical running up inside the option game and the play-action passing. Culminated with a couple of freshmen in terms of some big plays, John Bowling and Aaron Galladay. And then, of course, that second 90, whatever it was, yard drive.
91, 99 and 91.
Is that what it was? Okay. Just a great surge off the football. You could see we were hammering away. They were tired. They had a lot of kids that got hurt tonight. You could see it was a physical game. We knew it was going to be a street fight, and I think our kids certainly won that. But hats off to the persistence and the drive to overcome all of the obstacles during the season. You know, all the things that happened early in the year, stubbing our foot in the Texas game, not being invited to the national title game, you know, Colorado almost coming back. Just an incredible display of character by our players to see this thing through the way they did against a great Tennessee team.
Yeah, it really was. In fact, I talked to Coach Solich about that in our pregame show, if you saw it back home. Things really could have gotten away from you guys in that second week of the season with D'Angelo Evans leaving and being dismissed and changing quarterbacks all in the same week.
Yeah, hats off to Frank. You know, he had to make some tough decisions along the way, and you know, I appreciated the way he did it. You know, he sought counsel on it, and yet he had to make the final call on it and had to have the guts to do it. So I appreciate his determination, his courage, and obviously all of the accolades that he's received this year are well-deserved.
What does this do for you guys? I know it's a little early to start thinking about next year, but, you know, you're a coach. You have to do these things. What does this game do for you heading into next year? Because, I mean, you're going to be ranked in the top 3 the way it looks.
Well, in many ways, not only is it the last game of this year, it is the first game of next year. And, you know, particularly on offense, you know, we have a pretty young group of guys. A lot of them coming back. It's going to be...
As an offensive coach, I see that smile coming across your face.
I think it could be awfully good. And defensively, you know, we're losing some great players, no question about it. But I think that we have enough in the pot to strike gold next year, God willing. And, you know, a lot of things have to take place in the offseason with conditioning and so forth. But this gives us a great jump start, and I think the kids are going to be very motivated that way.
Yeah, you know, with Tracy Wistrom out, I think you guys worried about what that was going to do. I think Nebraska fans probably worried about what that was going to do. But John Bowling and Aaron Galladay, they really stepped up for you tonight at tight end, and that's a position that gets overlooked a lot.
It really does. You know, Tracy not only is a great player in terms of as a receiver, he's definitely an underrated blocker, but he's such an intelligent kid. You know, he gets a lot of things figured out up there for a young player. But Aaron Galladay and John Bowling have worked so hard, and you know, the confidence level that those kids had coming in here, they seem to have ice water in their veins. They don't seem to get too upset about things, and I was so pleased the way they were able to make big plays and the way they blocked at the point of attack. Also, though, guys like T.J. DeBates, he gets overlooked, you know, but T.J. was kind of the heart and soul of the tight end core in a lot of ways. He kept those young guys together, and Damian Bauman is a guy that comes in and hammers people. It's man, it's a scary group of guys. You know, really, quite frankly,
like that when they're on your team.
I'm glad they're on our team. I really am. I mean, how are we going to keep them all happy? You know, we've got another one coming in. We've got one that's redshirting. It's an outstanding group, and should be a great position for a number of years, God willing.
Ron Brown, we appreciate it. Thanks. It's always great to talk to Ron Brown. I'm ready to go out and play myself right now. All right. Thanks a lot, Ron. Appreciate it. Now, we've also got a lot of Husker fans here celebrating the win, but we've also talked to Frank Solich a little bit earlier. Here's what he had to say after the game. Coach, that was an excellent example of power football out there in the second half.
Yeah, it ended up certainly being that, and you know, as we started running the ball, found out that we could run it right at them a little bit and stop messing around with that other stuff, and it kind of worked very well for us.
Yeah, I mean, what was the difference in the first half? It looked like you were dominating, then Tennessee got the momentum back. What was the difference there in the third quarter?
Well, you know, our team never has given up throughout the course of the year. They've been outstanding on that end of it. And so I knew that they would battle back. They had lost the momentum, and we were really struggling for a while. And Tennessee was moving the ball up and down the field on us, and our defense was getting wore down a little bit. So things didn't look too good. But we were able to put together some long drives, and it had to be probably 10, 12, 14 play type of drives that I think just wore them completely out, probably took their spirit away a little bit, and I think boosted ours. And consequently, we just continued to operate that way through the rest of the second half.
The defense is really dominating tonight, too.
Well, they've been outstanding all year long. I think they're as good a defense, without question, as there is in the country. We've got a great collection of athletes there, a lot of team speed, and they're very physical, and they believe in themselves.
How long do you get to celebrate this before you start thinking about next year already?
I'm going to celebrate it a little bit. There's no question about that. But we get right into recruiting, so there's a lot of work ahead.
All right, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, we're back now with Aaron Wills, the rush end from Nebraska. Aaron got kind of banged up at the end of the game, but before you did that, I mean, you were really knocking some people around with your teammates.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun out there. You know, we were really motivated. I don't know if anybody knows, but this is Coach McBride's last game, and so we just went crazy out there. And, you know, we were just doing it for him. You know, this is all about Nebraska, and, you know, they really came out and called us out. Raynock Thompson said that in that 42-17 win that we had, he said that we're going to come back and show them what physical football is all about. He says we didn't show them last time. And so the whole game, that was our little, you know, war cries that, you know, you want to play physical football, we'll play Big Red style. And, you know, at the end, you know what the score was.
It seemed like there may have been just a little bit of talking going on out there, too.
Yeah, there was, you know, and their players were at us, you know, we were at them, and, you know, I just got to thank God that he brought me through everything. And, you know, even with this little injury, you know, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I know that in my heart that, you know, no matter what, this is not going to beat me.
And let's getting back to Coach McBride's last game. As a defense, I know you guys really, you always sell out for the guy. What has he meant to you guys as a defense and, you know, to the program?
Well, he's somebody so special to us because, you know, he loves us, you know, and he loves us so much that he would put his own life on the line for us each time. You know, he gets out there, he puts extra hours in, you know, he sacrifices his own family time just to make sure that we're ready for games. And when he told us, man, I mean, it was hard for everybody, you know, not to cry. And I think there was about 6 or 7 players, including myself, that were crying before the game. And, you know, Coach McBride was trying to talk to us, and he couldn't help but cry. And, you know, we were really emotional before the game, and we just knew that we weren't going to go out there and let him down like that. And, you know, he is the program over here because he is all what Big Red's about.
Aaron, when did he let you know that this is going to be it?
He let us know about 2 days before the game. That's when I really found out. And then we kind of had a team meeting today before the game, just defense.
Wow. And that, I mean, while it had to kind of break your heart, at the same time it had to provide some inspiration, as you said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to retire next time we play Tennessee. But I just know this, that, you know, it inspired us totally because there's a lot of players that came through here. You know, Grant, Jason, you know, a lot of big-time players, and including Danny Noonan that gave us a little talk before the game, too, that Coach McBride helped out. And we just wanted to make sure that, you know, we sent him off on the note that he deserved to be sent out.
Aaron, great job tonight, and congratulations to you guys, and appreciate you coming out with the bad leg there. All right, James Sherman is also here with us, offensive lineman for the Huskers. And James, that's some power football out there you guys are running.
Yeah, it definitely was. You know, those last 2 drives, you know, the 97 and the 99-yard drive, you know, we really took it to them and showed them what power football and physical football is all about. You know, they were talking all week that they were a physical team, that they were going to show us what physical football was all about, and, you know, we really felt that, you know, our program, you know, developed the physical game and we invented it, and we came out and we really showed them what physical football is all about, and those last 2 drives just broke their back.
Last game for you here at Nebraska, it had to be pretty satisfying.
It was. If I had to pick a way to go out, this would be it. Those 2 drives were the best I've been involved in. We just dominated them. you know, back to the Nebraska of old, and that's, you know, if I had to pick another way to go out, you know, it would be that.
Well, it was at that point in the game where it was the momentum had really swung to Tennessee when you went on the 91-yard drive. And I mean, did you guys kind of as a unit say, this is it, this is where we prove that we deserve to wear that N on the side of the helmet?
Yeah, I think we all knew that. You know, nothing really needed to be said. You know, Coach, you know, came out and he trusted us and ran the plays that we wanted to run, and we took it at them and shoved it down their throat basically, and you know, just basically took the wind out of them. You know, they had the momentum going into that first drive, and those next two drives we just, you know, took the wind out of them, took the heart out of them.
And Nebraska guys don't like to talk a lot, but I think there may have been some talking going on out there.
There wasn't really that much talking until the end of the game, when, you know, I mean, because they've been talking all week, you know, and we've just been going about our business like we always do, and you know, when we just killed them those last two drives, you know, there was, you know, a lot of gratification.
I bet. You know, you're leaving, but what do you see as the outlook for this team next year?
Unbelievable. I mean, our line's going to be awesome. We have Tonu, Finoti taking my place. Jason Schwab's probably going to be coming back. Dominic's going to be coming back. We have, you know, another veteran line coming in. You know, they're going to be awesome.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you coming by, and congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was James Sherman, the Nebraska offensive lineman, and we're going to throw it back to you in Omaha.
John, great job out there getting sound.
All right, well, thank you very much. It's always nice to be complimented.
And big news about Charlie McBride. We'll hopefully hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we should. I'm sorry, John. Yeah, we should mention that again. Charlie McBride retiring as Nebraska's defensive coordinator, and that is big because that guy has done some incredible things, and kind of appropriate because he coached right here at Arizona State too.
And he's got some property down there, and his wife are going to probably be headed down there after this retirement.
Yeah, well, hey, I may join him. I wish.
I'll put you up for that notice in tomorrow for the general manager.
No, wait.
Shoots, thanks. We'll hear from you in just a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Big story, Tennessee. No, Nebraska.
On this field with the win.
So what did he say after the game? I mean, obviously all during the game, and every time you looked over there, you saw him. What did he say after the game in the locker room?
Yeah, he's not a man of many words. He kind of just gets this look on his face, and his lip over here goes up, and you know that, you know, he's just happy, and that's all you can say. When he's got a smile on his face, you know, it makes the defense happy.
The defense plays so much on emotion. That had to be something special for you guys, and I know Tom announced his retirement before the bowl game, and how much of an emotional lift did that give the deep play? You guys played lights out the whole game again.
Yeah, it was an emotional boost like you wouldn't believe. I mean, we had to play this game not just for Coach McBride, but for everybody that has ever been coached by Coach McBride, everybody that's ever loved him and put their life on the line for him when they go out there and they play hard. And, you know, we made sure that he went out on the note that he deserved to go out on.
So what's the feeling among all the seniors? You guys happy?
Yeah, we're happy, you know. Now we just got to, you know, those of us who wants to take it to the next level, you know, we just got to get to working out and, you know, keep on working hard and make sure, you know. And I know that next year, you know, these guys are going to put in the time, and, you know, we might make that, you know, underdog run at the national championship. So
it's been a great run for you, but I know one of the things all the seniors, Jolch and Jackson and everybody, talked about the younger kids and setting the right example for them and what you want them to be better than you were out on the football field, you know?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we got great talent at Russian, you know, with Chris Kelsey there and Des Moines Adams, and, you know, we got new guys that just committed, and, you know, when Grant left, a lot of people said, you know, we'll never have another rush end like that. You know, I think every year this program and the kind of work ethic that they got, they just produce great players. You know, they might not get the All-American status, but if you overlook them, they'll beat you. And so I think, you know, next year the players are going to do a lot better than we've ever done, and each and every year you should just expect that out of our program.
Coach Brown had some real nice words about you, and I just love that about the program, the coaches and the players and everybody. It's a real emotional deal, you know.
Yeah, it is. You know, the coaches, you know, they're really more like, you know, father figures and friends to us, and instead of just like these high and mighty coaches at a great program, they, you know, they don't want to get to know you because you're going to be leaving in 5 years. That's not the sentiment at all, you know.
That's one of the things he spoke about, watching the young kids come up, and then they're seniors, and then they're gone, and then you got to start with the younger ones again.
You know, I think it's all a process of just growing up. You know, I remember first coming here, I used to have this perception in college football. Then I have a totally different one when I walk off the field, you know, with a 13-1 season. So, you know, being a part of something is totally different when you first get here, and all you want to do is, you know, be along for the ride.
You've had a great career at Nebraska, and you've really made something special out of yourself. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aaron, very much. So it's true. Charlie's retiring. He made the announcement before the game. I couldn't tell because the defense seems to me to always play with that kind of emotion, at least especially in the last 4 or 5 games of this season. I think maybe some of the players kind of had an inkling that Charlie might be retiring after this game, even before he made the announcement. We do have another tape that we want to roll right now, an interview that Ross did with Nebraska's fine young center, Dominic Raiola. Can we see that tape?
We can't miss bad. Big time. Physical football message. We play physical football, and they don't. Bottom line. Period. Okay? They come from a good conference, but they can't play with us. They cannot do it. Okay? Bottom line, they can't play physical football. Period. Just saw a little crease, took it to the house, and then Rob Brown made an excellent block on the punter, and all I had to do was sprint in the end zone.
Did you think once you caught the ball, did you see that crease right away?
No, I just had a lot of confidence in the guys that they'd get their blocks and that there'd be some kind of crease there, and I had to get to it as quick as possible.
How'd you feel about making a play? I know you've made many this year, but how'd you feel about making one early?
I was surprised. I didn't realize I did until I got back to the sideline. It finally clicked.
And you talked about the ball game and how you pretty much dominated Tennessee, but it got close there, I guess, in the third quarter. But your thoughts on the game?
We pretty much dominated the whole game. We played they were talking how they're going to come in and play a physical game against us, but we taught them how to play a physical game. So we came in and played a very physical game and basically took over the whole thing.
How'd you feel about a 97 and a 99-yard drive?
Well, Coach Solis called to the sideline, basically challenged us, and we came through.
They certainly did, Merlin and Chaps. What can I say? It was such a great, satisfying feeling, and it makes the whole beginning of the next year so much more pleasant when Nebraska wins a bowl game. Everybody has a good, positive feeling about next season compared to the times that they've lost bowl games.
Fans, John, I'm sure you've heard some too here in Omaha, already talking about that national championship run. The announcers for ABC talking about that tonight. So, Dave, get ready. I don't know if we'll have to dust off the corn cob or not. We didn't need it tonight. It's still back in the sports office, but could be another run coming up next year when you see so many players coming back on offense, some key players on defense. And, you know, it's interesting. We talked about this run of Charlie McBride. We can remember 8, 9, 10 years ago when they lost a bowl game, people would call up the station angry at Charlie, said, fire that guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. Now he retires, and he's kind of like the resident genius on defense.
He's a genius when the defense plays well and they win. We have another tape for you, Murr.
Okay.
I just was informed that we have Coach Fulmer from Tennessee and some Tennessee players maybe on the tape. So I haven't seen it yet, so go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
I have to congratulate Nebraska. They're a very, very fine football team. It's hard to spot a very, very fine football team, 14 points and win. We made enough mistakes tonight on both sides of the ball to lose the football game, lose 2 football games. But even at that, if a team can take 99 and 96 yards on you when you close it to 17-14, obviously they're something special. We had a lot of opportunities, particularly field position in both halves actually, but first half didn't take advantage of that. I was proud of our kids. I don't think we quit. I thought they fought right to the end. We went for those 4th downs and those kind of things to try to stay in the football game. But we ran into a good team. Obviously teed it off well, and Dante Stallworth and the other kids, but just, wasn't to be.
Questions, please report to the microphone. Raise your hand if you have a question for either Coach or T. Martin. Right here, sir.
Coach, have you ever had a drive of that magnitude, 99 or 97 yards, against you since you've been at Tennessee?
Not that I can remember, no. I'm sure somebody's taken it 99 yards, but maybe not quite like that. Very, very impressive drive. Both of them were. We had them on one of them 3rd and I think 13 or something like that, and they converted it.
Question over here.
Coach, I was just wondering if you could talk about T. Martin's 4 years and how it is to have coached him for a final time tonight.
Well, we're certainly going to miss him. I've talked about it 100 times. T's athletic ability and ability to throw the ball and manage a game and be a quarterback is obvious. You know, his numbers of wins and statistically, and you know, you can just watch him play and you know he's a great player. The thing that's special about T. Martin is T. Martin the person, and how he goes about his business to lead by example. He's a good person. Whether, you know, we have a favorite saying around that you really know, you tell a lot more about a person when what he does when the coach isn't around. And T's one of those guys that you know he's always going to be doing the right things. Whether the coach is around or his parents are around or anybody's around, he's going to do the right thing. He's a great young man, been a great leader for us, and we're going to miss him a lot.
Tennessee will miss T. Martin a lot. We got a chance to talk to him several times this week. He is a very fine young man, and he's a credit to his school. And Coach Fulmer is a very, very classy guy. You know, there aren't too many coaches that Nebraska has to face that aren't classy guys. Aunt Murr and Chaps, we've talked about some of them. I don't want to talk about any of them.
That's true. We will not name names tonight, Dave.
No, we're not naming names.
Dave, stand by.
Good guys.
Stand by in Tempe. We're going to take a little break here, and we'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes on this special edition of Sunday. Things going down there, Gary.
I tell you, John, it is a party atmosphere here. A lot of the people have cleared out already, but there are a few die-hard Husker fans still remaining here. Hey, and they're all Channel 6 fans. They're telling me say hi to John Chapman. Earlier tonight, though, we did get to speak to some people just as the game was ending, before they had to go home and get to bed before work. I think we have that tape for you here right now.
We should be number one.
Yeah, number one, baby.
We really deserve number one, I think, the way we played over the past year.
I think, you know, Virginia Tech and also Florida State, you know, they, undefeated teams, you know, I think they deserve the 1 and 2.
Virginia Tech is not the team. Nebraska deserves a chance against Florida State, because I don't think Florida State's played anybody anyway. I don't think Florida State has played the teams that the Huskers have played during the year, because of the ratings and everything else. They haven't done anything.
The people here aren't really big fans of the BCS or any of the other polls. Huskers number one in their heart. They're telling me that the 1999 Huskers, I've got an autographed football here, Fiesta Bowl champions, but they're also telling me that they should be the number one team in the nation, overcoming a lot, but Florida State and Virginia Tech will, of course, be playing for that on Tuesday night. John and Merlin, you can't fault them for loving the Huskers, though.
Is that my football?
What's that?
Is that my football?
Your football?
Yeah.
No, I think it's my football.
Oh, yeah? We'll see about that later.
All right.
Thanks, Gary.
You know, you get the feeling, John, that some of those fans are already camping out for next January. They got their bar stools ready to go for that championship game next year.
They better get some sleep.
Yeah. Some people have to work tomorrow. Some people are working right now. Hey, by the way, speaking of working, Dave Weber is working hard down in Tempe, Arizona, and he has more reaction from that good Husker win tonight. Dave?
We do, Merlin and Chaps. We have the news conference with Coach Frank Solich and Eric Crouch that just ended a few minutes ago. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Yeah, well, I really can't put it into words right now. You know, coming over here on the bus, I was just thinking about just winning the game, and we did that, and now I can always remember my last game as a W. And right now I'm kind of have mixed emotions. I'm happy, sad, frustrated.
To get outside the pocket, it was good on their part for game plan now.
Happy that we won, and sad that my career is over. So I'm just proud of you know, all that I've accomplished this 4 years, and all this team has accomplished this year. And I mean, that's all I really can say about that.
Can you comment on Coach McBride's decision?
Yeah, well, Coach McBride is hanging him up, and you guys all know what he's meant to this program and meant to the defense. He's a tremendous coach, and you know, he has so much respect on this team, and he's just someone that you know, puts his heart into what he does, and his players try to give their heart right back to him, and he's going to be missed, and you know, we love him dearly. Well, he was just explaining how this victory was his best victory of his coaching career, and you know, he was kind of crying a little bit because it's over for him. He's been doing this for so long, and it's over for him now. So he's going to move on to a new chapter in his life, and you know, he's going to be a guy that I'm going to keep in touch with and just be a friend of his for life.
Mike, could you talk? You said you were sad about the defense.
Yeah, we just made way too many mental mistakes. It wasn't that we weren't giving great effort. We're going out there just playing lights out for 4 quarters, but we made way too many mental errors that cost us, and you know, we didn't play the type of football that we're capable of playing. But I know in my heart that we're still the best defense in the nation. No matter who we play, we're going to compete and be a tough defense to move the ball on. And like I said, I'm just very proud of this black shirt group, and it's going to be a group that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
Can you comment on your future as a pro, Mike, the NFL ahead of you?
I haven't even thought about it, to tell you the truth. I was just thinking about winning this football game right here, and you know, now I'm going to have a chance to sit down and really think about my future.
Mike, as a senior, what do you think about the University of Nebraska outside of football?
Oh, it's a great place to go to school. Well, this university, as you know, is built on football. I mean, football is a huge aspect of the university. So, I mean, that's what a lot of people go there for. I know a lot of the athletes that got scholarships go there for that, but what makes this program so special is that the people that we have on our support staff care about you as a person and want you to succeed in life. And they want you to graduate, and most of our players do graduate on time. So I think this is a special university in the fact that everyone cares about you as a person, not just the football player.
Question for Eric: Did you guys go in saying that we were going to have football of the year and a little bit more? You had a touchdown pass for the first time in a couple months. Was that the game plan to go in?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the game plan. I know that you know, right away we knew that we had to establish the running game, and we did that. And we did a pretty good job in the second half. We also knew that coming out, we needed to mix it up a little bit too and kind of catch them off guard. And you know, there were some play action passes that we really connected on, and I think those are big parts of our success today. They were pretty important plays. I think some third down conversions that really helped us out, and that play action pass for a touchdown was very good for us.
Mike, congratulations. Coach McBride, did he tell you before the game? Did you play with that emotion inside you, or did you not find out till afterward?
Well, some of us knew before, not many. You know, I talked to the guys before the game because I was probably really one of only like maybe 5 people that really knew what was going to happen. And you know, Coach McBride's the type of guy that's not his style to tell people that, you know, he's retiring so they play for him. So I mean, that's the type of person that he is, and you know, he just wanted to bow out quietly and just go and just live life now. So you know, he's always been hurting his knees, his back, and it's just sad to see him leave, but I'm also happy that he's going to be able to enjoy his life finally.
Mike, Tennessee's passing attack got going there on that one drive, and it could have killed a lot of teams, but you guys handled it really well. What can you say about T. Martin, and how did you defuse the offensive attack?
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, we took the running game away from them, and we made them one-dimensional, and they began passing the ball a lot. They had a good scheme against what we were running, and you know, they were able to complete some passes and make some big plays. But you know, like I said, we could have stopped some of it, but some of the plays we weren't able to just because of the schemes. And you know, we went into halftime and made some adjustments, and really, I mean, we were playing hard. It was just, you know, we were making some mental mistakes, and you can't do that against great teams. They'll make you pay.
Bobby, can you talk to us about the punt return and what happened?
Well, the one thing I remember about that is just our guys doing an excellent job of blocking, and saw a little crease and tried to accelerate through that. And next thing I know, that Ralph Brown was making an excellent job on the punter, and I have to try to cut around him, and I ran in the end zone. Then I'm knocked down on the ground. Everybody jumped on top of me.
Coach Solich, Mike has talked about this being Charlie McBride's last game. Could you comment on that?
Has Charlie visited with you guys or anything of that nature?
Not yet.
Well, I think probably it's best that, you know, before I make any kind of comment, that maybe you check with Coach McBride.
Can we get him?
Questions? Eric, similar to the last the game, you like you were wearing him down at all in the second half, and the two drives to have a 99 and 94 yarder like that, what did that do for momentum, and what did it do to, in your mind, for your offense?
Yeah. Oh, I think definitely that was a turning point in the game, and it was definitely motivation for our offense. And the first drive that we had was 96 yards, and I think it showed a lot of stamina, a lot of heart out of those linemen, our running backs, pretty much everybody that was on the field. And I think it was, you know, it had to do with a lot of the sideline emotions too. I mean, everybody was into it, helping one another out. And, you know, after we scored that touchdown, we just told ourselves, you know, hey, we're going to have to do it again. This time it's going to have to be 98, 99 yards. And we told ourselves that we could do it. We did it already, and we just went down, scored another touchdown, and it was like, it was a great feeling knowing that we could do that. You know, you don't see that a lot. I think it says a lot about the physical play that we, you know, brought to the table today.
Is that what you said when you went out to the 1-yard line? Let's do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of those guys felt the same way. We just had to do it again, and you know, kept telling those linemen, and you know, they rallied around that. And I think that's you know, one thing this team's always done this whole year is what's put us in this place is that, you know, every time we come to play together, and we're playing for one another.
Question up here.
Yeah, Coach, all of the seniors that we talked to, and I know you're proud of all of them, but they were all particularly happy for Mike and the night that he had in front of his hometown family and friends. Can you kind of talk about what that means to you?
Sure. You know, we all wanted Mike to end it with on a bright note, certainly in front of his home fans, his friends, his relatives, and he's had a great career, and everybody felt that without question we wanted to see it work well for him in this game, and it did. But you know, I was really pleased with all the seniors. I wanted all of them to go out in style because they are special in how they operated this year in a lot of ways, talent-wise, character, leadership, and so it was delightful for me to see those guys be able to go out on top.
Question on the right.
Yeah, Coach, can you talk a little bit about coming out early and throwing some early passes, and then also about how you took Tennessee's running game away?
And what was the last part of that?
Taking Tennessee's running game away.
Okay. Well, the plan was to try to get them off balance a little bit early in the game, and hopefully be able to come up with some formations that we'd be able to do a few things out of. And so we wanted to be as multiple as we could early in the game offensively, and we did enough running, and the types of running plays that we were doing, we had we felt a pretty good number of play-action passes to come off of those, and so we used some of those early on in the game, and we're able to make some big plays. We wanted to make sure that we got something going early in this ball game, and so that played out pretty well for us. And then, of course, in the second half, you know, I thought it showed great character that our team was able to change the momentum after we got down a little bit there, and we were able to come back. And of course, Tennessee probably, in punting it inside the 5 twice, forced us into running the ball some. And once we started running it, found out that maybe we can keep running it. And so that's what we end up doing, and that worked very well. And then, of course, stopping their running game is the second part of your question. We've been able to do that really throughout the year, and that's always been something that this defense stepped on the field wanting to do regardless of the style of play that the other team is, and that's to stop the run first. And so we were intent on doing that despite the fact that they have great receivers and can also hurt you very badly in the passing game.
Two-part question here, Coach. First,
okay. Yes. Oh, I'm on. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were going back to Merlin. Mike McKnight standing with me, and Ross just ran back to the dressing room. I think Ross is going to pass out here, and got the Charlie McBride tape. I don't know what's on it. Maybe Charlie, I'm sure he'll say something about his retirement on it, though. So if that tape's ready, let's go ahead and look at that.
Well, I guess it's pretty obvious. Some of the people have already said this. This is my 37th year of coaching, and over the last few years I've contemplated retirement, and I didn't want to take anything away
from this football team with that kind of thing. And eventually it kind of got out, and I have so many people to thank, and especially this one right here, 38 years. And she's a legitimate coach's wife. And she's raised 3 legitimate great sons. I can go back. I don't want to talk a lot about this, but I do want to say one thing. My first win was when I was coaching at Arizona State with Frank Kush in this stadium. And my last win was here too, and it meant so much to me. And if you could only know the players that I had over the years, and especially this group, and I've said, this is a special group, folks. They're self-motivated, and they can play like hell. And I honestly love them, and we talk about, and that's a word that we're not afraid to use on our football team. And I love my family very much. And I think it's time for them. So I'm going to pull the plug. And I just want to thank everybody. And I want to thank Coach Solich. Frank has been great to me. He was my son's coach in high school, and he came with us. And as you know, he's going to turn into one of the best there is. And I want to thank Frank Kush for giving me my first job. I was nothing but a little graduate assistant up at the University of Colorado. And he had faith in me to give me a job to start my career. And I can't help loving the man for it. We've stayed in touch, and he's a great person, and he probably taught me as much in 3 years about football and about young men as I've ever learned in my life. Coach Osborne and all those people have just been like saints to me. And they've all let me coach. And that's really important, I think, for a football coach, that they turn around and let you coach. So thanks to everybody, and I'll have more to say, I know, when I get home. But I don't want to take away from this football team, because they deserve this big win. And as far as I'm concerned, they are #1. There's no question about it. I don't have any hesitation in my mind. Anybody that wanted to step up against us, we can win. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're up. Okay. I just said that's really, really emotional stuff from Coach McBride.
Well, I'll tell you what, Charlie is an emotional guy, and he was kind of talking to us before the game over here in good spirits and kind of goofing around with us a little bit.
I hope you watched the pregame show. I know Merlin and John did, but we were doing some lead-ins to some tapes, and they were doing interception drills with the defensive linemen and linebackers, and Charlie was standing at about the goal line throwing the football in this direction, and he throws it real hard so that the linebackers will have to try to make an interception. And I looked him in the eye, and every time he saw me, he smiled and threw it right at me. And it landed, you know, if the guys missed it, it landed right over my head, so I was kind of jittery about that.
Keeping you on your toes, Charlie is really.
I'll tell you what, I've been covering Nebraska football 30 years now, and Charlie's been coaching there ever since then, and I've had the pleasure to work with him and just enjoy his personality.
You know, it's interesting, Mike Brown talked about him after the game, and Mike Brown told him before the season rumors were circulating that he was going to retire, and he said, "You cannot retire until I'm done at Nebraska." And he has called Mike Brown the best overall player he has ever coached at Nebraska, just from being a student, football player, just a great person. And he wanted to end his career the same time Mike Brown did. And what a year this black shirt defense had with Charlie.
You know, first time I met Charlie, he yelled at me.
He does that quite a bit.
He's a fiery guy, but he's just a great guy, too. I understand now we have a tape queued up that has Frank Solich's reaction to Charlie's retirement. Can we take a look at that?
about Coach McBride and what he's meant, I think, to football in general, because certainly he's known around the country as one of the great and maybe as great a defensive coordinator as there is. I know that we would not trade him for anybody. It's really, in a lot of ways, a sad moment for Nebraska football. He has been with our program a long, long time, as you know, as a coaching staff. Most of us have been together and been through an awful lot, so it's very difficult to see one of us step aside. But he has been outstanding. His players have always played very hard for him, and there's a reason why Nebraska has had great defensive football teams over the years, and Coach McBride is that reason. He talked about love. His players love him, and they play for him. And along with being just an excellent coach in terms of schemes, in terms of calling a game defensively, he has the whole package, and so he will certainly be missed by our program, by our coaches, by our players. He'll be missed in a lot of ways.
That was Frank Solich commenting on Charlie McBride's announced retirement. He announced it before the game, and I couldn't tell because those defensive players have played with such fire the last 4 or 5 games, the whole game. But that's just great. That's a great way to go out too, winning his first college game as an assistant at Arizona State in the stadium and winning his last one 37 years later.
Yeah, you could tell how emotional and how much this meant to him just this whole week down here in Arizona, and we're going to miss him.
Yeah, we will. We will. Can we keep it here for a couple of seconds and talk about the players coming back?
Sure. They have 9 starters back next year.
Ross has been busy.
Yeah, they have 9 starters back next year on offense. And, you know, you started split in with Matt Davison, who will probably be one of the captains on the team his senior year. And then in the offensive line, you got 3 players back, Raiola, Russ Hochstein, Dave Volk. And then at tight end, you're loaded with Tracy Wistrom and Aaron Galladay. And then, of course, the backfield.
Too.
The backfield is entirely back. You've got Eric Crouch at quarterback, Willie Miller at fullback, Dan Alexander and Carell Buckhalter at I-back, and then
Bobby Newcomb
at wingback. And then you got some of these recruits that are coming in, like Thunder Collins, a junior college transfer from Los Angeles, is coming in next month, and he's going to go through all the winter conditioning, spring practice. So they're going to have 3 experienced I-backs for spring football.
Do we sound like fans or what, John? Murr?
Big time fans.
Fans and journalists, though. You guys did a great job in bringing us those stories tonight, and certainly those interviews with Coach Solich and Coach McBride. I was just sitting here thinking, guys, that in our tenure, and Dave, you worked a little longer than we have, but Ross and I and Chaps, we've seen an incredible era on Husker football. We've seen the retirement of Coach Devaney, and then his passing on, the retirement of Coach Osborne, now the retirement of Coach McBride, and yet still here we are talking about a national championship possibility for next season.
I think they're talking about me retiring.
No, not you, Dave.
No, not you, Dave. I get the feeling, guys.
You got 20 more years, Dave.
At least.
Well, I'll tell you, it's. I was just thinking myself about it. All I've seen. Oh, I know. I was talking to Al Papik on the sideline of practice for about 20 minutes, and I said, Al, it's remarkable to me. It's 30 years I've been covering Nebraska football since 1969, and the things I've seen, the national championships, the great players and coaches, and the Devaney era, the Osborne era, now the Solich era. It's somebody asks you, what'd you do with your life? And I can say, I watched Nebraska football.
Which isn't a bad thing to say.
Not a bad thing to say at all.
And you know what? Even some of the players are talking about that they'll be the preseason #1 pick next year because they have so many players coming back. They have 9 on offense. They got 5 coming back on that black shirt defense that played so well this season. You know, the Browns are going to be gone, but you got Lauren Kaiser, Kyle Vanden Bosch, Carlos Polk, Keo Craver, and Deion Booker, 5 guys who started in the Fiesta Bowl tonight. And it seems like every year they reload on defense, especially, and they always have a talented group. They're going to have a new defensive coordinator. Question is, who that is going to be right now. Candidates are probably Craig Bowl, linebacker coach. I think George Darlington's the experienced one in the defensive secondary, but I don't know if George really wants that job. It gives you a lot of headaches.
I tell you, it's just been another great experience, guys, and you roll it all up, and that's, you know, people say, you know, you look like you're having so much fun when you cover these games.
And we
well,
are.
we are.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Dave. Hey, you guys stick around there for a little longer. We're going to be right back with more of this special edition of Sunday Sports Extra.
Is there anything you learned this year that you're going to put in next year to work with Newcomb and Crouch into your system?
Well, yeah, I think that the thing that I think I understand, our coaches understand, and probably everybody out there understands is that we've got two tremendously talented football players in Eric and Bobby, and we will try to utilize them as best we can to make big plays because they're that type of athlete. And so our offense is pretty multiple. We will design certainly a good share of it around guys, those two guys. Hope that we're able to move the ball with some consistency, knowing that we'll get some big plays from them.
That's Husker coach Frank Solich on the Nebraska's win, and he was talking, Sean McMahon, about Nebraska's multiple offense, and I think it really showed tonight that, you know, Nebraska is not just an option team. They set up in a lot of formations and do a lot of different things and use motions, and it really frustrates a lot of defenses, and you've done a great job tonight, and that's why he's a little sweaty, folks, so please just excuse him. But your thoughts tonight on the game?
Well, I tell you, we were listening to Tennessee head coach Phil Fulmer back in the post-game area. He kind of said it best. He said 2 years ago they taught us a lesson about physical football. Well, once again, 2 years later, he said we got another lesson in how to play physical football. And I think a lot of the Nebraska players kind of took this as a challenge. We talked to Matt Davison a couple days before the game. He said that he had heard a little bit of noise about the Tennessee players talking about how they were going to teach Nebraska a lesson. Certainly didn't happen tonight. Eric Crouch alluded to that in the post-game comments, as did Dominic Raiola walking off the field. He said, we are the physical football team, and we showed them tonight.
Yeah, I guess the teacher doesn't need to take any lessons. There was a lesson taught tonight by Nebraska. And Sean, I think, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I think this speaks volumes for getting a playoff system in college football because, I mean, Nebraska, I think, has shown that they belong.
Absolutely, and especially going through the tough conference season that they did and coming in here and beating an SEC team as soundly as they did. And Tennessee was never really in this ball game, and to go out and dominate the way they did, not only are they the #2 team in the country, which I think will pan out in the polls, but you can make an argument that they are the #1 team in the country.
Well, the Associated Press, they're not tied to the Bowl Championship Series, but I wouldn't hold your breath on it, folks, but, you know, a guy can dream, can't you, I guess?
And, you know, we talked before the game about how this game could really set up a run in 2000. I think you saw that tonight. They made a statement. You got a lot of guys coming back, 9 on offense, 5 on defense. Lose some key seniors, some great leaders, but boy, they got a lot coming back next year.
And I think maybe the key loss is defensive coordinator Charlie McBride.
Absolutely.
Who is going to retire after tonight's game, in case you hadn't heard. Well, we're going to throw it back to Omaha real quick, and we'll check in one more time down here.
Shoots, thanks. Great job as usual by you guys. We'll hear from you in just a little bit. Well, the Creighton men's basketball team will drop its 3rd straight game tonight.
But Tennessee, they were shut down tonight. The stats tell that 26 attempts, only 44 yards. The top back, Jamal Lewis, 8 carries. He only racked up 19 yards. So they shut down that running game totally.
And the Huskers rolled up 320 yards rushing. And so really this game could have been more of a mismatch in the final score than it ended up being, 31-21. The Huskers really put the pedal to the metal in that 3rd and 4th quarter.
And they called a touchdown back, too.
That's true. So you're absolutely right. Speaking of touchdowns, I'm sure that Husker fans can't get enough of those. So we're going to look at the highlights one more time, then take it back to Tempe and talk with Dave. Huskers taking the field here, and as we told you earlier, the defense set the tone in the early going. This is Kyle Vandenbosch sacking T. Martin. Husker defense, the Blackshirts had a great first quarter. Fired up, of course, about Coach McBride retiring. And here is Eric Crouch getting the Huskers going. His first carry goes for 30 yards. Eric would end up with 64 yards on the afternoon. Moments later, still in the first quarter, Dan Alexander, who rushed for 108 yards today, takes it in for the touchdown to make it 7-0 Nebraska. Defense playing so well in this ball game. Tennessee threatened after a long pass play, but the defense rising to the occasion. Steve Warren with the sack, and then they would miss a field goal. Now the big play of the first half, the Huskers. Bobby Newcomb, always a dangerous threat. And there he goes, finds the seam and blows by everybody. Good block by Ralph Brown there to wipe out the punter. And the Huskers are up 14-0, a 60-yard punt return. The defense continues to put the pressure on T. Martin. He makes some bad plays. Here's a tipped play right here. And this is Joe Walker with the pick, as the Huskers picked off T. Martin a couple of times on the evening. And then, boy, just a great play right here, John. Mike Brown.
Super defensive play. Saw the ball falling down.
Man, we will miss him. Even though they have a lot of players coming back, we'll miss him. Now the Husker offense looked like they had that game well in hand here. A beautiful throwback screen to Correll Buckhalter. But somewhere there were some illegal blocks on the play, and so they called this one back. Coach Philip Fulmer very happy about that because it kept his balls in the game. That would have made it 21-0. Huskers come back, excuse me, on their next drive. Matt Davison, almost the same play. He finds the same seam. Doesn't score, but it will set up a field goal attempt by Josh Brown. And Josh, playing the angles, bounces this one in off the crossbar to make it 17-0 Nebraska.
He planned it that way.
He sure did. I think you have to call those before you can kick them. The balls come back, though. Good drive at the end of the half. T. Martin getting hot. This one to Dante Stallworth. And then with 18 seconds left in the half, T. Martin again to Stallworth. A 9-yard touchdown play to make it 17-7 as they go into the locker room. Tennessee seemed to have the momentum, and it kept going their way early in the third quarter. Huskers fumbled the ball a lot. This is the nightmare of Husker fans. Dan Alexander fighting for yardage, but then coughing up the ball. Fortunately, that would turn out to be the Huskers' only fumble of the evening. But this one was costly. Frank Solich not enjoying that moment. Travis Henry scoring to make it 17-14. And Tennessee back in this ball game, but the Huskers fought back with a couple of long marches, 99 and 97 yards. Key play here, a third down pass to John Bowling, the freshman tight end from Lincoln. And then Willie Miller. Somebody forgot about the fullback. Willie gets the piano on his back about right there. That's still a big play for the Huskers. Willie, 87 yards on 8 carries. Some big runs tonight for Willie out of Bellevue West. That would set up this play. Crouch to Aaron Galladay, the freshman out of York, and it's 24-14. Now we go to the fourth quarter. The Huskers with at another long march. And doing the work this time is Correll Buckhalter. Some great blocking. Good block right there by Sherman. And Correll takes it inside the 20-yard line. And several plays later, the Huskers put this one away for all intents and purposes. That's Buckhalter right up the middle to make it 31-14. Tennessee, they did not give up tonight, even though they were overwhelmed by the Huskers at times. They did come up with a nice play here, a little razzle-dazzle. The throwback to Cedric Wilson, and Stallworth wide open. That would make it 31-21 with about 8 minutes left in this game. But the Huskers do what they did so well in the second half. They will run it right up the gut and run out the clock. Willie Miller getting called on here. Fittingly enough, typical Husker football, and the Huskers go on to grind it out 31-21. Huskers with 460 yards of total offense and holding Tennessee to just 300. And you knew Husker fans were going to be clamoring for a #1 even before this BCS championship game on Tuesday night.
Only way that can happen is we have a tie in that game. I don't think they'll do that.
No, I think they kind of have an overtime system worked out there. Hey, we have some more to bring back to you from Tempe, Arizona. Dave standing by in Arizona. Stay with us for more on this special edition of Sunday Sports Extra.
31-21, but as you may have seen earlier, if you just joined us, that wasn't the only big story tonight, John.
Two stories coming out of Tempe tonight. The Huskers win, and the defensive coordinator, Charlie McBride, retires from the Husker football team.
Charlie McBride, such a great part of that Husker machine, stepping down. Let's go back to Tempe. Dave Weber and Ross Sternstrom standing by. And guys, it really is a historic occasion tonight, truly the end of an era in Husker football.
They kept it a good secret, Charlie did. The players said that he told them before the game that this would be his last game as a Husker coach, and nobody knew about it until Aaron Wills came up just a little bit ago and told us that Charlie had retired. In fact, yeah, it is the end of an era. We saw Tom Osborne retire, and now Charlie.
Yeah, and I think Charlie wanted to stay on with Frank and get things rolling with him. A Big 12 championship, and the Huskers will finish #2 in the nation. That's a nice way to go out.
You were looking at your schedule card for next year, I know. You're all excited.
I said, let's get together about September 9th in South Bend, Indiana, when Channel 6 carries the Nebraska-Notre Dame game there, and we'll do this again. How about that?
Yeah, you know we're going to have a big pregame show for the Notre Dame deal, and then a trip to South Bend, which everybody wants to go.
Yeah, it's quite an attraction, though. I mean, the College Football Hall of Fame is there. A lot of history with Notre Dame. I think it'll be a great matchup. for the Huskers just to play in South Bend because it's been so long?
It'll be tremendous, and of course you'll get the very best Husker coverage as always right here on Channel 6 with all Mike and Mark working in the truck and everybody, Ross and me. Mark, you trying to tell me something? Oh, McBride tape, yeah. Let's go ahead and take one more look at that McBride tape, and then we'll come back and say.
I guess it's pretty obvious. Some of the people have already said this. This is my 37th year of coaching, and over the last few years I've contemplated retirement, and I didn't want to take anything away from this football team with that kind of thing. And eventually it kind of got out, and I have so many people